Welcome, dear listeners, to Strange Darkness Radio. Join us as Rothy delves into the mystical realm of numerology, unlocking the secrets of destiny for the incredible Amy Tydeman.
Here we go. Now this one right here. This one right here.
Oh.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Miss Amy. Okay, because first and foremost, let's just go ahead and start it out the gate. We have your life path number, which is a 314. I myself am a 314. And it is an amazing life path to be. And it's very different from a 13-4, which is actually your heart's desire number. So just like Carolyn was just talking about how like the same number can mean something different for a different person, it can mean something different in a different placement too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the 4. The 4 is the builder, right? So you have the 1 is the male dominant father, 2 is the mother, 3 is the creative child, 4 is the house in which they live in. So it's the builder, right? Donald Trump, everybody's familiar with him. He is a life path 314, as is Kim Kardashian, as is Dak Prescott. And these, I mentioned these people, always Trump and Kim Kardashian specifically when I talk about life paths, because their lives are really great examples of how that energy generally works out for most of us. Unless you have a life path 4 and a birthday 4, you're probably going to be exhibiting most of the attributes in the latter half of your life, right? And we see this in both Trump and Kim Kardashian's life, because look at, Trump's, empire was built upon building. He was the real estate mogul, right? And then in his latter years, he got into politics, which is the justice side of the 4, because that's the other big attribute of the 4, right? So then we also see that in Kim Kardashian's life. She's of the sisters, she's the main brand builder, or has been, still to this day pushing skims and makeup and et cetera, et cetera. And then we see after her, she turned 40, she starts, dealing with the prison reform programs, helping people to be pardoned, and then working with Ye and Trump to, get that stuff done, and then Van Jones to become a lawyer. So we see that justice side of her 4 becoming far more prominent as she has, reached that and passed that midterm part of her life. So what this means for you, Miss Amy, is you've always been a builder, and you'll continue to be a builder. And the 4 is also one of the leadership numbers, right? It's not the weirdo 1; it is the leader of the people, right? So you kick that 4 over. Once again, the physical attributes and what they're going to do. It's like almost like a corral, right? You are telling people which way to go in the right way, and not to veer out on all sides. So a lot of attributes of high 4s are like OCD clean. Everything organized in its place where it's supposed to be. Do things right the first time, genius, or so you don't have to do it again. Like, intolerant. I'm like,
that is so me.
Yes. It's like, why do I even have to tell you this? You are not dumb, and you're making me mad for having to correct you on this. Do it right the first time.
Wait, were you at my house yesterday?
That doesn't seem. Are you really like that, Amy?
Maybe.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
About my cleaning, I am. Yup.
Okay, about certain things.
But she told me one time, don't piss me off or don't make me mad.
I did not say it like that.
Yeah, it was in the reference of you don't want to see that side of me.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
I said it very nicely.
I want to anger the dragon. That's so funny.
Attributes of the 4. There's the 4. Yeah, so the 4 can be. It is very Taurian energy. The 4 is very Taurian energy because it's that master builder. You know what I mean? And the Taurus is very hardworking, steady, dependable, rock solid, loyal. So there's a lot of those attributes in the 4 automatically. And that strong suit, that's the house, that's the structure, right? For the people. It's not the weirdo 1 that's just going to be a stick in the mud or go blaze their own path and be a leader. And they're amazing leaders in that regard. It is the 4, because somebody needs to lead the people. The 1 is off in the freaking woods blazing a path. They don't care behind them. They're not going to keep everybody in line. They're just going to lead, right? The 4 is going to make sure that everything is in line. Everyone is in line in their place where they're supposed to be. And don't get out of line. Don't get out of line. Bobby, I know you've seen a lot of my social media on Facebook, more so, and girls, I'd be wilding out on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's my like most shadow banned page, so I like use it for my venting, and then I'm a lot nicer on my Instagrams.
That's smart. That's just smart.
That's funny.
I just need somewhere to speak and say my
Let it out.
yes. They drive me crazy. Anyways, so with that being said, that's a lot of my 4 coming out, Bobby. That's a lot of my I don't care about your feelings right now. I could use some 9 and some 2 in my life, because I'm callous sometimes with it. Like, so like intolerant of bullshit anymore. And I can be very judgmental with it, and I can be very critical, and I need to learn how to infuse a little bit more understanding and love with a lot of it. Not all of it. Some of the BS in my DMs deserves it. But not everybody. I need to realize that a lot of times not everybody can understand it at my level. Number 1, it's not a me thing. It's just what the gift I was given.
Yeah.
And even if they do understand it to some degree, they don't necessarily deserve to be to get that energy from me of like my 4 energy, my intolerance, my judgment, my criticism. Even though it's coming from a place where I just want it to be excellent. I want you to be excellent because I believe that you can be excellent. You're not this lower standard that you're allowing yourself to operate at. That's 4, right? So there's a big part of you, Amy, that is an encourager too. That's a builder, upper, a lifter, and that even when you have that intolerance, or when you correct, it may seem rigid in certain ways, but what they don't realize is that, with your birthday number, which we'll go into here in a moment, your brain is everywhere, and it's a struggle for you to manage and compartmentalize a lot of those racing thoughts in your head all the time. And this is a big part of that frustration, because you're like, doggone it, I need to get this stuff compartmentalized. So you're always trying to do that in your own head, and then trying to organize and manage everything else in life or other people, which can be overwhelming. You know what I mean? Super overwhelming. So you got to give yourself credit for that, first of all. And you have to understand that. And I'm just going to go ahead and jump into your birthday number right now, because it's relevant. Your birthday 5, right? You're born on the 14th. So this is the 5. Now, what is the 5? The 5 is vacations. It's travel. It's change. It's energy. It's joy. It is, it's beauty. It's mass appeal. It's pizza for dinner instead of a home cooked meal. It is ice cream. It's the pleasures in life. It is pleasure. It's indulgence. Look at that fat belly of that 5. That 5 is pleasure, So and that's why when the 5 and the 8 get together, it's overindulgence. It is addictions. It's that sort of bad toxicity, right? Best friends having fun. But again, we're going to jail, and it's 11:22. Yeah, so we want to stay out of jail as much as possible, right?
No 8s for me.
I would say this, like Carolyn's 8. Carolyn's a high 8, and so we'll go.
It's not bad.
It's the placement of it. It's the placement of it,
And the other numbers.
Yes, she's got a 3. She's got a 3 in her chart. Her birthday is 3. So where your 5 is, that's where her 3 is. So that is not the 8-5 right there. You know what I mean? It's almost like if the 3 is the neutralizer and the balancer between the 5 and the 8, because what's the difference between 5 and 8 is 3. What is the protection number for the 8? The 3. So that's why the 5 and the 8 don't go well together, right? So it's like that neutralizer and that one party, the innocent 5. Not that Carolyn is the instigator, but 8s can be the instigators. They can be the bad influence, right? And the 5s a lot of times are because they're wanting to spread joy, and a lot of times can overcommit themselves because they're wanting to spread joy, make everybody happy. And in doing that, the 8 is that influencer. Oh, 5, come on, Sister 5, let's go. Let's go. We're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. I know a dude there. Like that sort of that. But
Nice.
you know what I mean? So there,
Yeah.
if you that 3 is going to be like, first of all, Uncle 8, you're put your drink down. You're not having anything else to
You're
drink.
cut off.
You're cut off. Aunt 5 has this big show tomorrow because she's so beautiful and she's got this mass appeal, and we need to make, and I'm going to make sure that we're all protected and she's not going to jail, nor are you. Get in the car and we're going home. Like that's what the 3 is going to do, right?
But
So
5 with an 8, with 5 with an 8, the 5 will kind of just go along with the 8's
yes,
bad influence, and that's
yes,
why. Okay, I see.
yes, yes. Uh, so there was a case of a missing woman that I did some work on a few years ago, whose little boy was found walking by himself in a apartment parking lot in Miramar, Florida, a few years ago. They still have not found her. Um, and I did readings on all of this. You know what I mean? And what I came to find was the person, and I'm testing your knowledge of what we've learned so far, okay? The person that okay, ended up being a very, very evil man, very, very high level witch and doing evil stuff. He was a life path 8 with a heart's desire of 5. She was a life path 5 with a heart's desire of 8. Okay? The 2 worst, most volatile combinations, and they just, and that 5 does not expect that 8 to be so crazy sometimes, and that 5 can't manage that 8. The 5 is just too much joy and wanting to spread joy. They don't, as a man thinketh, so is he. That's a proverb. If you are not the type of person that's getting over on other people, you're not going to expect that from other people. Therefore, I'm not going to think that other people are trying to screw me over because I don't screw other people over like that, right? And vice versa. And that 5 is not expecting it from the 8. And that's why it can be such a volatile combination. And it was for them. He's now, in prison. They still haven't found her, and I don't think that they ever will, based upon my reading, unfortunately. But
That is so
it
sad.
was extremely sad. It's still extremely sad, and I still sometimes want to do work on it, but we'll see what the fates, decide.
Can I ask you about that? When you did that reading, was he already in jail before you had done that reading? Oh, wow. So he got arrested later.
He got arrested later.
Oh.
And I mean, even with the information that I've given you, people can look it up on their own and find out what case it is. That's fine. When I did the reading, there was a vision that I had of a tall young man with curly, kind of fuzzy hair out, and like a basketball outfit on, long white tee, red shorts, and black and red sneakers. And it was very prominent, and I knew instinctively that he had something to do with not what happened to her, but what happened to her afterwards and why we can't find her. He helped. And so the one who did it posted a long rant on Facebook like less than a week later because, of course, the police were asking him questions. And he's like, I'm the one that told that. He was very cocky about it. Meanwhile, they found he was using her credit card. They seen him on video with her truck. So many things, right? And this person, this young man that I saw in the vision, I want to say, and I don't recall specifically, a lot of times when I do readings, especially for the actual numbers, I will forget a lot of it. And this is why I always encourage people to allow me to record the sessions for them, because you'll see stuff later and then I'll see stuff later too. I don't remember it. It's a natural clearing process, right? So I don't know. My immediate thoughts go to, I went to his Facebook page and did some surfing. I think that's how it happened, because I found this person in the outfit that I saw them in.
Oh, wow.
And so I tried to friend request them, and I saw that they had a sibling, a twin sibling. And I friended the twin sibling. The twin sibling is still friends with me on Facebook. And I have explained to them the truth of the situation, to the point of like, I don't know, because the twin, years after I initially DM'd him saying, hey, can I talk to you? You know, blah, blah, blah. He never got back to me until I want to say like 2 months ago. And he was like, where's my brother? And I said, I don't know. That's why I'm getting in touch with you. So ever since that happened several years ago, his brother went missing.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And I feel like he's out there somewhere, you know, but he
is he in hiding?
That's what I think.
Oh,
yeah. Wow.
So yeah, and my heart goes out to this guy, this young man, because he misses his twin, you know. My heart goes out to the family of this young woman, because I can't even imagine not being able to at least have closure of what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And so
stuff like that happens in my mind automatically, I guess, as a parent, go to the fact that, well, they might have a little bit of closure. That's why the person can't be found. So sometimes, you know, people take law into their own hands. So hopefully it all works out.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot with that. Yeah, we'll see. But I know this much. As hard as it is to believe sometimes, everything in life happens for a reason. I know that. I believe it with everything in me. And it's like, it's like, it's like, why would these weird things happen? Why would they happen? And that doesn't make sense. It's evil and it's awful. And how do you tell that to parents who, you know?
Yeah.
Not
going to make them feel better.
Right. But in the end, it all comes out in the wash. And everybody, just like the NDE episode that I did on the whole podcast, he said, you're going to have your life review. And the main things that he said were, be good to people and be good to the animals, because his dog was in his life review right there next to him the whole time. His dog from when he was a kid. So it's so important that we do try to be good to people, and I'm giving myself that advice, because I can be a pose beast sometimes, you know. It's hard to be an empath and channel a lot of the crazy energy that goes on in this world with people and not let it affect me. It's how I channel it. It's how I express it, you know. So yeah, but anyways, okay, I'm not sure why that came, but I felt like it was appropriate to talk about that a little bit. So we talked about your 5, Amy, a little bit. The general information of the 5 is it is a ton of energy, right? Loves to spread joy. It's like sunshine. It's like orange yellow to me in color, right? It's beautiful. Jelly Roll is a Life Path 5. DJ Khaled and Beyonce is a birthday 5. So we see beauty and mass appeal in different ways, very different ways with these people, but we see it, you know? So that sort of a thing. Also fives, because they are change and travel and a lot of energy, they can't sit still for 5 minutes. So there's probably these things where you're just constantly going. You feel like nothing's ever done. And this is the big part of in your mind. What I'm talking about is like your mind's constantly going all the time. And because it's right next to the 4, your life path 4, those subsequent numbers are contrast. So we talked about the 4 being the builder, the home that the family lives in, right? Well, the 5 is the vacation. Okay, home, travel, vacations. You've got the roots. I need roots, but I want to travel and have new stimulation and change all the time. So there's this kind of contrast in you, or where it always feels like I love my home. I want to establish roots somewhere. I need that stability, that Taurian, energy. But I want to be free spirited. I gotta go, 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 go. So there's a constant pull in you like that. And these are your life path and birth date numbers. You're not changing them. They're not changing. You can't change a birthday. So you got to learn how to work with them, right? Because there's always going to be like that pull and that contrast inside of you. Learn to understand that 5 that needs new stimulation, that 5 that needs that constant energy flowing through them in some way, shape, or form. There's a reason for that, because a lot of numbers, especially numbers like 4, they're kind of more stagnant. So we need the energy of that 5 for dynamics, I would suggest to allow into your world and your experience things that allow you to have that the extra stimulation, right? That travel, new fun stuff every day that you got to work out, and just that sort of vibe. Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense, actually. I mean, I do find that, that's actually pretty accurate. Do need like a lot of new stimulation. Like I find that I get bored very easily.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that you mentioned that. That definitely does resonate with me. Yeah.
And another thing that I like to say with 5s, and especially because I know that you're married, if you want, this is my gift to you. I'm happy to do a compatibility with your husband if you want, because I do think that it is important that partners of 5s understand this is not anything that's wrong with them. They are created this way for a reason, and you need to learn how to be stimulative for them. You need to realize that she needs new stimulation constantly, or it may cause a problem. And if they know this is why I like to work with couples like that. If that you may like your husband or love him or have fallen in love with him because of the fact that, oh, he's so calm with this, and it seems like he's got this, his structure, and he's maybe more quiet and more maybe opposite attract type of thing, and he may be like, why can't she sit down, like that sort of a thing, where he's like, what, why can you've been going since 4 a.m., like, aren't you tired, like that sort of a, and where it feels like maybe he doesn't get it. I want couples to understand this. Like, don't try to change her. This is not something that even should be changed. You need to learn how to embrace it and how to work with it so that it benefits you as well as y'all's relationship and benefits her too. That could be, if that's in the travel, okay, not 1 vacation a year. We need to take 4 vacations a year. I need that much travel in my life. Or if it's spicing it up in the bedroom type thing, or if it's I want to have, certain types of meals. I don't want to cook most of the time. Like I want to, whatever the case may be, like it's everything in moderation for 5s and 8s, no matter what, because you do have the propensity to have addictions and vices. But with the 5 specifically, it's okay to get that stimulation. That's what gives you your passion. It's what gives you your juice and what keeps you going. to be that energizer bunny, because that energy is going to be used in other ways, right? So it's all about you, Amy, figuring out, how do I get all this extra energy that's making me crazy inside of it, because my 4 wants to organize it. My 4 wants to compartmentalize it. Doggone it, why can't I get one thought to stop? So to be able to embrace that and say, okay, I'm having what do I need to do? I need to write down in my journal right now all my thoughts that are coming to me just as quickly as you can, and see what manifests in that way, and different tools and processes that you can use to really kind of help you with that and embrace it instead of fighting it all the time, because that's a big contrast, honey. That's a big contrast of that 5 and that 4 together, but it's still purposed, and it still can be beautiful, and it still can be amazing, and you can be happy and rewarded in your life. You know what I mean? So just know that. I just felt compelled to go into that. Okay. So expression number, how and why we do things. Now I'm reading your married one first.
Introducing Popcorn Remix, the ultimate snack for late night cravings and podcast sessions with Bobby at Strange Darkness Radio. Escape the guilt of sinful snacks with this sweet or savory treat that transforms familiar flavors into popcorn delights. Indulge in the tempting variety, from Charlene's banana puddings to lemon cake, savory lemon and pepper, and incredible jambalaya, featuring over 50 flavors. Each bite is a mysterious encounter, captivating your taste buds like a shadowy figure in the night. Let the popcorn seduce you with its sinful allure, offering an irresistible guilty pleasure with a healthy twist. It's a burst of excitement reminiscent of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Popcorn Remix is the popcorn experience that keeps you craving more, as if you've danced with shadows in the moonlight. For this delicious adventure, contact them at info@popcornremix.com or call 678-806-5855. So go to www.popcornremix.com to have a remix in flavors. Now let's get back to Strange Darkness Radio.
And we are back. Okay, you were about to get into another part of Amy's reading.
Yeah, so we are now at the point where we're talking about your expression number. And so, as we said before, this is how you do things in life, like how and why you do things based upon your numbers, your experiences, environmental factors, so on and so forth, right? And this is where, because we got big dynamic numbers here, right? And what I want to say is that, that 5 that we talked about before, which is the life of the party, is so there's a conversation coming into my head, and it's a conversation. Maybe it was with you and your significant other, or not. Maybe it's a make-believe conversation. There's just an energy in a conversation that is like, do you understand? Like I used to be like I was that girl. Like I was the life of the party, and I was a little bit wild, and I had fun as that 5, because in your single chart your expression number is 5. So you have that duplication of not only your everyday energy of that wild child, free spirit, wants to spread joy, love, sunshine, right? But now you've got it in your expression number. So this is the coyote ugly chick that dances on the bar. Like, this is that, like, I am beautiful, and I am just free spirited, and I know it, and I love it, and I embrace it, and I'm with it. And that was a superpower in a way. Does that make sense? That in a way that it was kind of like your superpower. Like, I am so confident in myself when I'm like this, when I am my free spirit, when I am my bird, my free bird. Uh, and that changed when we got married. Of course, I mean, obviously, you know what I mean.
Hmm.
There's a time to be a fun girl, and then there's a time to, well, you grow up and you get married, you become a wife, and so you have fun with your partner. But there's also something that became very you matured a lot. A lot of maturity, a lot of wisdom came into play, and a lot of protection came into play because it went from that 5 to the 7. And the 7 is the third of the leaders within the Cardinals. That is the executive producer, pulling the strings from behind the curtains. So, not up front like the 1, like the CEO, not the director of operations like the 4 that all the people are going to. This is the executive producer in the background that most people don't know who it is, who's really running the show, but that's the brilliance behind the show, right?
Hmm.
And it's also secrets and it's protection, right? Look at the 7. It's the most protective number. Anything under that roof is going to be protected and shielded, right? But 7 is brilliance. It is strategy. It is precision. It's perfection. Um, so this brings a whole nother level of 4s and 7s like each other because they're both like do things right the first time and everything in its place where it's supposed to be. So there was a part of you, but it's almost kind of like it was good that 5, that extra 5 was there because it's almost like the balance of the extremes, right? I talk about a lot of times there are extreme people in life, right? And I'm not saying any of you are extreme. You're not. I'm talking about the numbers right now. And I'm referencing this to some people. You've got the extremes, right? I'm talking about people that are like would hurt other people. You know what I mean? Like extremes, they hateful views, all of that extremes.
Hmm.
My thought is this, and everybody's like, oh, they gotta these people, blah blah blah. I'm a freedom person. Yeah, that ignorant, racist, horrible, hateful person may be wrong to think the things that they think, right? But if we were to take it as such a um, what do you call that? What do you call that? Not pivotal, but very polarizing person. They are a heavyweight on the end of the board. They are a heavyweight on that extreme side of the board. So if there's other heavyweights on the opposite end of the extremes, right? You've got like super pro this, people super pro that, people that are against, and they're the heavy hitters. They're the big heavy mama jammas on the end. Those are the extremes, right? That is
Hmm.
the 5 and the 7. You've got total fun energy, travel, change, excitement, maybe a little bit of naivety, believing the best in people because you don't do people wrong like other people would have, like some agendas to do people wrong, right? The 7 is completely protection. So there was something that's a massive change from going from a 5 personality to the 7 personality. And so there's a conversation that keeps happening in my head with regards, I don't know if this is a conversation that's already happened or if it will be or if it's a vibe. I don't know, but it's coming into my consciousness. And it's
Hmm.
basically like, do you realize how much more serious I am, how much more mature I am now? Do you realize what the lengths of the significance of change that I have become in order to be in this partnership, right? I feel like there is, like in a way you would wish somebody would see that you've changed this much, because they're still like, why don't you sit down for 5 minutes? And you're like, I just sat down for 45 minutes. I know, but we can't sit down for a couple hours and watch TV. And they don't understand, I can't sit for that long. My tailbone hurts. I got to get up and move around. My legs are getting stiff. Like in energy, that sort of I got to get up and go, right?
Hmm.
Um, Does that make sense at all as far as like why I'm maybe hearing that or sensing that in a way?
Mm, yeah,
It's okay
yeah.
if you guys, you don't have to
Amy
say.
would be at the gym, so just
Uh, yeah, no, I'm just thinking back to the other night, like, why can't you sit down and watch a movie with me? And you know,
That literally happened?
why?
Those
What
words happened?
that happens quite often, actually.
Okay. Okay.
Whoa.
exactly.
I literally, it's such a prevalent conversation in my head of like, and that's why I feel compelled to like offer that to you, because I want to come to I want to have my girls back and be like, hold on, she can't help it. Like, help her embrace it in this way, and here's some tools for you, and it's beautiful and it's beneficial because we need sunshine in the world. She's a big light. She's got to be this light, or you don't want to suffocate a light. And that's
Mm,
what the 5 is. It's
mm,
sunshine.
mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah. No, I definitely see what you're saying. And yeah, no, oh, I wasn't sure if you were finished with your reading, but I was gonna like
Go ahead. Go
some
ahead. Yeah.
yeah, no, so I was gonna say, so I did go see the psychic the other day, at a psychic fair, and then she had some things to tell me, which I did blow off, but then today, you've told me very, very similar things that she told me about, like, my mind never stopping, and I'm constantly thinking of others, like I need to think about myself for once. And then you talk about the word travel and just basically just needing constant stimulation. She mentioned the word travel. And so it's just funny that a lot of the things that you said came from her, and I wanted to blow off everything she said, like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. And she says that to everybody. But then to hear like the same specific comments is just so fascinating to me, because what I wanted to say was very general. What she said, obviously you didn't say these same things to Carolyn. They're like totally different, the things that you're telling me. So it's very fascinating to me to hear all this. And and it makes me do like another take at kind of taking what both of you had said, and like, oh, okay, then there I think there is something to this, and I need a yeah, it's very it makes you think.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Good. Good, good, good. And I can tell you this much. The numbers, psychics may lie, people may lie. The numbers will never lie to you. They're going to tell you the truth every single time. And that's what I love about them most, especially as a Taurian woman who is like, loyalty and honesty is like two of the biggest things for me. Tell me the truth. I don't care how hard it is to hear, like, I want the truth, and that is what the numbers do. They can't lie. They're perfect, and they're always the same. Like, they're just always the same. They have the attributes that they have, and that's it.
Hmm.
So that's what I love
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah.
But well, so moving on for your for your
And
personality
more.
number. But wait, there's more. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So this is really, really cool because, and I want to tie this back to Carolyn. Um, so your personality number, which I call the perception number, because like, again, it's how people are seen, right? Your personality number is the 3, which is the creative child, right? And this is as your married personality number. It used to be the 1. So
Oh,
very,
wait, Amy's is a
yeah,
3,
Yeah,
but it
mine.
used to be a
anyway,
1? Oh.
Okay. Oh, I thought you said Carolyn, so I'm
I'm
like,
going to
Carol.
tie it back. I'm going to
Oh,
tie
oh,
it back
okay.
to Carolyn.
Okay.
Sorry,
Gotcha.
I talk fast sometimes.
Okay.
So we have the one as a maiden name for the personality / perception. So that means that people did think that you were very unique, one of a kind, one in a million,
Oh,
weirdo, but you know my term for weirdo now.
yeah.
And then somebody that just wasn't afraid to be alone, do her own thing if she needed to, right? And then that turned into the 3, the creative child. So we got married, and somebody became a wise soul in ways, right? Again,
Hmm.
major difference from when we were single. There was a whole evolution of Miss Amy when we got married, and there were things that changed fundamentally about you. Um, and they're very extremes. We're talking about extremes, heavy hitters on the ends. And going back to that analogy, you don't want one extreme to get up because then it's going to topple, right? So even though we have those, maybe sometimes they're nasty, hateful people, and we don't like them. The world shouldn't have them. If we move them out of the way, we're toppling over. They balance things out in energy. I hate to say it. What it is, okay? And I want you to understand this within yourself and your energy, because there were extremes. We went from one heavy side to another heavy side on something, right? Big changes fundamentally from who we were before we got married. And I want to say that I feel like the conversation that I was hearing is like maybe can I be forthright? Can I just speak? Should I keep it a little like I want to know how I can do this? Like I don't want to say too much,
Just say it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say it. I may not
We want to know.
elaborate on anything,
Right.
but yeah, you can say it. Yeah.
Okay. So
Sorry, she wasn't really talking to me, Amy.
Yeah, shut up, Carolyn.
I just answered for you.
I'm kidding.
I love that. That's
I don't
funny.
want to get spouse banned or anything.
So remember how I said it's going to tie back into Carolyn? Remember how that was her 3 coming out in that. And then your 3, Carolyn, that you have on your birthday number is attracted to that 3 of her personality now. You guys vibe on that level, right?
Okay.
And so it's almost kind of like that playful side. You guys have a playful side together, and you enjoy your playfulness together, right? That's you have appeal towards each other in that creative, playful way, right? That young child, creative child. But this one here, going back to that conversation, is I feel like you may not feel heard. That's what I'm sensing strongly, is that you want to be heard and you want to be validated.
Ooh, which one?
For Amy, for her whole chart. Like there's a because there was such a big difference, and it's not that people didn't see the big difference. They just don't understand how big of a difference that was, how big of a change that was, how much work was put into becoming who you are now, and what a big sacrifice that was for you. And I feel like there's a part of you that wants to be appreciated for that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That wasn't bad.
Perfect. You always
Yeah.
have
That was okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, who
a place.
doesn't want to be heard and validated, right? So, no. Yeah, not going to deny that.
Okay.
Well, I've been telling her to speak up more on the show. So hopefully.
Okay. Once I start, I'm not going to shut up.
It's all right. All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So then moving into your heart's desire number, and as we talked about with Miss Carolyn's, it is the same as your life path number. It's a 4. However, it's not a 31-4, it's a 13-4, which is a completely different 4. Yes, we have different 4s. 13 is the karmic number. And so it is bringing forth karma and energy from the past. And this could be, a lot of times 13s are neutralizing karma that is not their own, or that was not their own, or it could be from a previous life. That's what certain people say.
Mm-hmm.
So, and because it's in both charts, it's like it didn't change when you got married. That's a part of what you are wanting to do is, part of your heart wants to stop generational curses, or stop generational traits, or stop generational dysfunction, or stop a generational something from happening, which I very much relate with. Even me and my brother were talking about it today. Like, we're just not going to continue the cycle of dysfunction. And so that's what that 4 is saying to me, and that placement being a 13-4, being in both sides, both parts of the chart, and then just being the 4, such a strong leadership number. That 4 can get stuck in the mud too. I might have a box on my head, but guess what? I could be stuck in the mud too. And I lead people, and you're not going to tell me what to do. And I'm not gonna give in to what was before, because a part of what, it's not only my purpose, but I want to do it too. Don't make me want to do it. Don't make me put my passion into it. Don't make me put my heart into it and my feelings, because then it's like there's no way you're going to get me away from my purpose, because it's also my heart's desire,
Mm-hmm.
So, and look at the 4, the 13-4 and the 31-4. It's like changing something around, switching it around. So once again, neutralizing that karma, taking it and switching it around. Okay. So yeah, those are your charts, my loves. Are we doing Bobby's real quick?
No, no.